So, guys, welcome back. I'm going to give you a warning up front. This is not going to be appropriate for anyone under 18. I am not going to get graphic, but it's not going to be appropriate, and it's going to touch on adult subjects. So if you don't like that, peace out. Okay, everybody else still with me? Okay, the story is things aren't so bad that I didn't have to go and pay $10 to have a woman dance naked for me. Now let me explain. I have been having trouble getting all the gods settled in, and this does have something to do with the $10 and the woman dancing naked. And this is the best story I've ever told you all. And as I'm getting everyone settled, and I'm trying to tell my discernment, and I'm trying to think about stuff that happened in my past, and remember, Bastet is the goddess that brought me into magic, so shy wouldn't be a word I'd use for me. And dealing with stuff in the present, and dealing with the G word, God spousing. Dealing with that, I still think that's the fucking stupidest word on the planet, but it's something someone picked out. Obviously, I wasn't at that meeting because I would have said, can't we just say married, spoofing a god, whatever. Anyhow, no one ever asked me. And I decided to see, is this a global phenomenon, or now that the Hiddleston movies are over, has everybody stopped saying whatever? And I looked up God spousing, I looked up Greece. In case you're confused or brand new to the channel, I do consider myself married to a deity, but of course, if you do look up articles, you'll find 50-50. The first article was these chicks are crazy and lonely and they need to get laid. And that's always the first type of article. And they're so ugly, no one will get laid with them. Or you get the opposite reaction of she's hot, she should be, laying down with me, not some deity. And then there was this wonderful article, and it was well written, and it used classical references, Greek references, and the person believed that this was handed down to us because, yes, this did happen. It wasn't just fantasy stories, it wasn't just creative fiction of the time, it wasn't the fan fiction of the time. They believed these, gods marrying mortals happened. And they believe that these stories were made a lot more spectacular, that these were real relationships, but of course it wouldn't do to say, oh yes, so-and-so's married to Hermes or whomever, and he appears in her sleep. That's not exciting, so they padded out the story quite a bit. And it was actually a really nice article. They said basically if people aren't asking you for money to support their lifestyle or, forcing their views on you, you should let people alone. So you couldn't tell if the person was or wasn't, and it really didn't matter. It was at least a nice, well-written article. And women had to overshare. Women had to overshare, and one of the gods they overshared about was Loki. Man, did they overshare. And about several other gods, too. And I just sat there thinking, wow. Okay. I don't know how to feel about this. What prompted you to overshare those overly intimate details that I can now not unsee? And I had run in, to make it even more perfect, I'd run into one of these people in a group one time, and that was all they would talk about. And you run into you're sure these women when you're a female and you work with Loki. I think it's an intimidation tactic. I'm not sure, but it seems to be an intimidation tactic of look what I can get. And it hit me at a very bad time, and I was like, you could sleep on the couch, go to a hotel, I don't care, I don't want to see your ugly face for 24 hours. And Loki, he will get very bitchy and catty and be like, so he was like digging his own grave. And then he goes, what's wrong? Nothing. Which means everything's wrong and you're dead to me. And basically, I wasn't talking to him. I wasn't talking to any of the gods at all. The only one I was talking to really was La Santa. I was talking to Ogo a little bit, and nobody was making me feel more comfortable about people oversharing. And I got up this morning, I'm still in the same bad mood, and I was so sick today, guys. I took like cold pills and everything. I thought I was gonna die. I didn't know what I was having a reaction to, but I felt like I was dying. And I thought, well, maybe because it feels kind of like betrayal when you read something like that, it feels like you were cheated on. It does. And it kind of makes you ashamed that the god would have such poor taste that they would pick someone that has to go share with everyone they meet. Um, and that's not slut shaming or anything, slut shaming the god or the person. But to me, intimate relationship is that it's between two people. You don't share it unless you're trying to be a bitch about something or brag, and I don't like either. Um, and the only one that could help me get over it was Bastet. Bastet comes back and she says, "You know what? These boys didn't want you playing that game. Remember that game?" We're getting back to the story about paying a woman $10 to dance naked. She goes, "You know that game that boys wouldn't let you get because girls have jumbly and they don't? You're getting that game. We're gonna go watch girls dance naked together." And the thing is, it give it all away in the preview. So putting on VR would just be seeing this chick dance in front of me. I already saw her dance. I already saw her completely naked. They give it all away in the preview. And the other thing is, these women just look like they're so done with you. And I'm like, I'm not that sad that I need to pay $10 to watch one of these women dance naked, because one, I already saw it, so I saved myself $10. And two, these are just the saddest looking women, and they're doing that sad dance they do in really shitty animation like this. And that's it. That's $10 to watch 4 chicks do that. And I'm like, wow, this is bad. And a lot of the male reviewers were like, "This is bad and this is why." And they were very articulate and tasteful. They said, "Well, if you have a foot fetish or you have any other kind of fetish, you're not going to be happy with this. And if you were thinking you were going to be intimate with these females, which is what, remember, all those teasers said you were going to do, you're not going to. It's just chicks dancing in front of you. It's more the shovelware that they're selling because horn dogs without much experience are going to think they're going to get something they're not." You could tell the inexperienced people because they were like, "Boobies! Oh my god, boobies!" And the experienced people were like, "There's actually no sex involved. I got cheated for my money. So I'm warning you, and here's why it's not very appealing." So it made me feel good. It was like, at the end of the day, I saved $10. I already got to see chicks dance naked. And things weren't so bad, and I wasn't so hurt about the whole situation that I needed to go throw $10 at a woman, say, "Here, dance for me, make me feel better." So, all in all, it was a good day. And that's like, "See, things aren't so bad. Now let's eat junk food and go find more previews." Bastet has an answer for everything. It usually involves dancing because she is the lady of the dance, and yes, she's the lady of exotic dancing. And even she was standing behind me like, "That's really sad. They don't look like they're into this." Yeah, they look like they're done with us. That's what they look like. Oh god, it was so sad. It was like, I was sad. I would actually cry for anyone that spent their money on it, because it's like, oh baby, do you feel that bad? Do you really feel that bad that this $10 in having a woman dance for you will make you feel better? What's wrong, honey? I felt bad for the guys that spent their money, and any of the chicks spent their money too. So, a really shitty 24 hours turned out pretty good because Bastet was like, "Let's go watch naked chicks dance." And that's the kind of goddess she is. That will happen. I don't know where I am now on the whole god spousing thing, which is weird coming from me because you've seen me do all these defense videos, but it's like, if this is all it's turned into is who can put up the most erotic story and who gets it the most often, then to me that's not marriage. That's just the talent who's rode the village bicycle the most often. That's not a marriage. Marriage is the day-to-day boring shit, like, how am I going to pay my bills? What do you mean I have to clean the house? Why can't you do anything? You're a god. You supposedly created this universe and you can't do a damn thing around here to help? That's marriage. That's what marriage is. Marriage isn't just sexy fun times. That's sexy fun times. That's what it is. It's two different things. And I don't judge people if that's all they want, but it was just like, you know what? I don't think I believe in love anymore. I don't think I believe in marriage anymore. I'm just gonna go off with Bastet. And we're gonna get totally blind on caffeine, because I can't consume alcohol, on caffeine, sugar, fat. There's a whole bag of goodies back here I got. Coffee. watching inappropriate content, that's what we're going to do. We're just going to go on a bender together. And then we're going to toddle back in and we're going to tell you how to live a virtual life because we're full of it. But all seriousness, guys, you have to do what's best for you. I got to already hear there's no God divorce, and I've said it myself, and I'm like, yeah, but there is God living apart from each other, never seeing again. I cite Njord. And gods are all like, I cite Hades. And I'm like, yeah, and the goddesses are all with you on that. And I'm like, I finally have sympathy for Hera. I really do, because when the shit's on the other foot, you finally have sympathy. And no, I don't have a thing for Zeus, but I could never see why Hera would let herself get so jealous because that was his essential nature. And then I'm like, yeah, that's her husband. She probably wouldn't care, and she didn't care if he had a fling. It was when it became public and when she was getting her face rubbed in it. That's when she got pissed off, and rightfully so, because that was disrespectful. It's like being on the Jerry Springer show, and you're sitting there with your wonderful husband, and all of a sudden 3 pieces of trailer trash come. Guess what I did with your husband? Please. The only takeaway I have from this is I told Bastet, and we were all agreeing. There's a female comedian that said to girls, don't be impressed. Guys wanting to be with you really doesn't mean anything. She grew up with 3 brothers, and if the couch will stay still long enough, the couch is just fine. So that was something we needed to talk about. That was something I went through, and I don't think that was oversharing because I didn't tell you any of the intimate details. You can go find the article and read it all you want, but it was like, I'm certainly not going to be in any kind of relationship if it's like whatever. You know, it's like there's one set of standards here and one set of standards for you. So I don't believe in love anymore. I don't think I believe in marriage anymore. I don't believe in anything anymore except for going and hanging out with Bastet. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.